welcome to my channel today, guys. I have a special little video made for us in regards to the new format they have released for July 1st. So if you are liking my channel, click down below, click the like. If you want to see more, subscribe to my channel, and I appreciate everyone that is supportive of my channel so far. This has been a lot of fun, and yeah, I am excited about today. I normally have videos done on the Sunday or Mondays, but with this new format, it's my intended feature team. I may need to hold back on it just because of how crazy this new format is. So yeah, let's get to it. So, Regional D format for Scarlet and Violet. They released now. Pokemon Home will be incorporated now. So there's a lot of different legendaries, a lot of different region Pokemon that will now be accessible in Scarlet and Violet. This, I don't think anyone anticipated, honestly. Kind of a mind blown. One of the biggest updates we've yet to see on Scarlet and Violet. I was anticipating maybe Terra Raid Pokemon coming or the new Paradox, but they totally shocked us all. So let's get into it, and I'll kind of give you a quick little overall of all of the Pokemon. They've brought in at least 60 or so Pokemon, so there's a lot to cover, but I'll try my best to kind of highlight all the ones that I think you gotta keep an eye out as the new series starts in July. And that being said, they do have this new format coming out for World Champions, so that should be very interesting, and I am expecting that a lot of competitive players will not be sharing their teams quite yet, keeping it kind of hush-hush for that reason. So let's get to it. We've got, as you can see on here, a little sneak peek of all of the Pokemon that, as you can see, Ursulana is on there, Alolan Muck, Regieleki is coming back, and honestly, this format needs it. I am so excited. I have been wanting to do a very strong mono electric team, and just bringing back this Regieleki is gonna be phenomenal. Yeah, so what that looks like, I said, Pokemon Home will now be incorporating some older Pokemon along with the Hushian Pokemon. This series does start for July 1st, and it does end by September 30th. So yeah, we have a lot of, all the Genie Pokemon are coming back, certain, Celius, and a few other, some of the Terra Raids are coming back, but not Walking Wake or Iron Leaves. So unfortunately, we have yet to see the Paradox become legal, and Corydon and Miraidon are still not legal. So I look forward to seeing these come, but they'll have their moment to shine. It's just not right now. But yeah, so certain Mewtwo and mythical Pokemon won't be allowed yet. Just, I suspect later, after probably September 30th, that they'll bring those in. But for now, they're not going to be allowed, so that's okay. I think what we have, or what they're working with right now, is certainly more than enough than what we were hoping for. So with that being said, yeah, so Terra Raid Pokemon such as Charizards and Samurats will be legal, and also on that note, Hushian Pokemon from Pokemon Arceus Legends, Sword and Shield, Pearl and Diamond, and Pokemon Let's Go, I believe. So I know a lot of people have been working really hard on getting their Pokemon Home updated and swapping all their Pokemon back and forth and transferring it to the Scarlet and Violet, as I know I have been. Going back to some of my older games and just picking out each and every one that I have in mind to use myself and try out, so that is pretty exciting. I'm also really stoked that my little mascot Wooper here is actually going to be legal as well, finally, the Kanto Wooper. So I will definitely be doing a series with him, as I think he's got some cool off-meta kind of strategies with him. And yeah, so like I said, we've got a Alolan Mux, a Alolan Raichu, and Rekoleki. And I know Ursulana is going to be a huge concern. A lot of people are on and off about him right now, and yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm not buying him completely. I know he is just going to be a concern for sure. He's going to definitely, I'm going to see Trick Room setters be more of a thing now to help with the speed control and having Ursulana shine. So that's pretty cool. We're also going to have the Hushin Arcanine, which will be pretty cool to see and whatnot. So yeah. Next up is... So I've kind of put together my own kind of tier list. I know everyone so far has made one themselves and kind of ranked what they think they'll see, what will be most common. To some extent, I agree with some of them, and others, I kind of see things a little differently. With that being said, yeah, as you can see, I've kind of put my little tier list here. We've got, anywhere from meh-ish Pokemon to completely look out for. And yeah, I'll kind of go over this briefly, why I've put these Pokemon here for a reason. With that being said, with currently adding these Pokemon to the current meta form, I'm not sure. I think we'll definitely still see Fluttermanes on the field, Iron Bundles, and the Ruins Pokemon will be quite an important factor in all of this. But what I think, like I said, I touched base a little bit on Ursulana. I think with him, he could be a potential threat, and not because I think I myself think he's quite the threat. He does have a very high 140 base power and attack, and he's overall bulky, and with his ground normal type ability, it's quite good actually. The downside though is with him, he's got a lot of different movesets, very widespread, but he doesn't really offer a whole lot in return for his team. He can be great, and I think for sure he's got a lot of potential in Trick Room teams, that being said. But he doesn't really help in other ways other than once you have a Trick Room, you have a timeline, you have a time frame, and I think, yes, his ability Guts is definitely cool and with Facade, but again, with that, I don't believe Fluttermanes are going to be leaving anytime soon. So some of these strategies I've heard people talk about won't really have any effect on ghost typing. He doesn't really have any kind of support such as Helping Hands or like anything to really help incorporate with his support Pokemon. But still, I could be totally wrong. This is my own take on everything. I think he definitely can be a threat with his offense, but honestly, I kind of see him versus a Trick Room setter. Like, you can't do it all in one step. So, in order to activate Guts, you need to have some kind of status condition put on your Ursulana, right? So there's several steps you need to take, and if you're doing all these steps it's predictable for your opponent. They can easily start whittling down your Ursulana with Intimidates. And I think other weather teams are still going to be really big, is what I'm thinking. With Electric Terrain still be very, very good, especially now that we have Regieleki. And I believe that having Arcanines and the horse Pokemon here, yeah, I can definitely see some more Blizzard action. Weather strategy teams aren't going anywhere, and it's really exciting to see what people will come up with. With that is kind of my reason. I still put Ursulana on the top there because I do believe people will still be using it, but if I were to use it, I probably would use Trick Room as like a backup. But if you did something such as I believe it's even Moltres, the Galar version, things such as like After You, I think that would actually benefit a little bit more, and I don't think people would really see that coming as much. So kind of like treat it almost like a Torkoal and Lilligant kind of strategy, where you have your fast Pokemon setter. Let's say you have it in like a water or a sunny day setup, and then you go in for a After You and just whittle down your opponents. So that way your Ursulana does still go first, but you're not relying on several turns to do so, which I think would make a difference. And also, with that being said, with a Trick Room, like, you have to make sure the rest of your team is relatively slow too to benefit from that. Otherwise, once it sets off, you know, you're back with the same problem you had to start with. So he will still be very vulnerable to Perish Song teams. But yeah, like I said, I think he does have potential, but I don't see it like how everyone else does. Urshifu, I think, is gonna be a problem for sure. With that, because of his ability, being able to get through Pokemon's protections and having his specialty move there where he can crit every single time, kind of like Masquerada, but a little better, is scary, and I have yet to figure out what I would do with that. So that's a whole other scary encounter in itself. We also then do have the genies, so we'll get into that. I think definitely this is a Pokemon to look out for. With that in mind, it also has some new signature moves that are a base power of 100 and have 80% accuracy with an additional effect. So we've got Bleak Wind Storms, and Wild Bolt Storms, Sandsear Storms. So yeah, these are going to be really beneficial in, again, I'm seeing this in weather teams. So we've got, you know, lowering speed stats, so we've got some speed control, we've got some paralysis that's, I can see that possibly being ran with Regieleki on the field. We've got Sandsear Storms that I believe can be also very threatening in Sandstorm teams, you know, the T-Tar and the Lycanroc. So everything's kind of got a bit of a buff here, and really exciting to see what people will do with that. Going back on this, also some scary ones that I saw that I think have a lot of potential. We've got a Alolan Muk, and I think with his typing, it will actually be very beneficial and unique. With its poison, dark typing, it does have almost immunity to everything other than ground itself, but you're not going to be taking very much damage from any sort of like fairy or such. It's got a lot of decent resistance, and I can definitely see this being a Flutter Mane killer, or perhaps a supporter, as it does have moves such as Haze, Poison Jabs. It also has an ability that's pretty unique that I'm just gonna pull up here. which it intrigued me just because I don't see this anywhere else on. I think it's like a signature kind of ability for him that I can see being really gross. Yeah, it's called Power of Alchemy. And basically, when an ally of the Pokemon with this ability faints or in battle, regardless of the cause, Power of Alchemy will be replaced by the fainted Pokemon's ability. So basically, Alolan Muck he doesn't start with an ability of his own, but once your ally Pokemon does go down, he copies it. So I can see that being very scary. I can see that being with, for example, let's say you have your Arcanine out with an Intimidate, and he is fainted by a Palafin or whatnot. Now your Arcanine leaves, Alolan Muck now takes on Intimidate as his own ability and now just intimidates everything on the field again, belittling any high offense Pokemon. I'm not sure if this would happen, I have to see, but I can see this kind of being gross in a way with Goldingo. So you've got Goldingo with the ability Good as Gold, right? So you're saying no to status conditions and whatnot. One of the best abilities at the moment for this region. I can see Goldingo spamming a bunch of nonsense, make it rains, and then Mach goes in with some haze because it can learn haze. So you're not only kind of becoming a support Pokemon for your Goldingo, but you're just completely destroying anything on the field, and then also you're able to kind of mitigate the special attack decrease that you get from Make It Rain. And then on top of that, once it leaves, well, now Mach has got that. It also has access to knockoff, which is great. Always a great plus to have. Getting rid of those life orbs, getting rid of those choice specs on Chi-Yus. Yeah, it's pretty cool. What else does it have? Poison Jab. It has all kinds of things. Lots of different Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, Drain Punch. I think that would be a really unique one, Drain Punch on a Alolan Muck. What else? Oh boy, yeah, it's got so many. I have high hopes for this guy, but we'll see how it goes. Also, I think Prankster, again, with Power Alchemy, if you copy, let's say you're Klefki, and you have a couple status moves for this reason, you're gonna look at a pretty scary looking Alolan Muck that now has just gained Prankster. So now you can use things such as Scary Face and just immediately have more access to speed control on your side of the field. I think that can be very scary. Anyways, moving on to that, some pointers here. I know a lot of people have talked about the Alolan Persian. To be honest, I didn't really like the look for it, so it kind of threw me off. And then I did kind of take a look on it, and it's actually got a few unique abilities itself. And it's got a decent speed. Actually, it's very fast. Again, it's got, it looks pretty generic. It's a dark Pokemon. It's got access to something called Rattled as an ability where it raises speeds one stage upon being hit by a dark type, a ghost, or a bug move. So you could use that and, you know, swap in easily if you're anticipating some kind of ghost typing or a dark move, and swap out something that may be vulnerable to that, and now you've got a faster Persian. Another one that people were talking about is Fur Coat, which it halves damage from physical attacks. So it basically has a double up defense, which is pretty beneficial, I think, towards maybe Annihilates or the Kingambits that like to take advantage of their Defiant ability. It's got moves such as Foul Play, which would be really good. I think it has access to Fake Out, which will be very important with facing some of these really gross Pokemon. Yeah, what else? It's got Facade as well. I think it also has Technician as another ability, which we've seen pretty good on Scizors and so forth. Breloom's a little bit, but yeah, it doesn't have too much. It's got access to Chilling Water, Trailblaze, Thief even might actually be okay with that. Or, I wouldn't even say Aerial Ace, but Metal Claw might be beneficial with Technician. Anyways, that is Persian. I think he does have some very good potential, and possibly scary too. Yeah, there's so many Pokemon on this. Let's give... I was really excited about the Hushian Electrode, just because, again, I am a big fan of doing mono-electrics, or like a electric-based team, and Hushian Electrode, I think, could be really cool. Again, it has got a base of 150, so it's a very fast Pokemon. Same stats as the Kanto Electrode and the same abilities. Only difference right now is it does have access to a signature move called Chloroblast. So it launches a chlorophyll to inflict damage on the target, and it also does damage the user. Keep that in mind. And it has a base stat of 120. So it's, with a 95% accuracy, it's a pretty strong move. I can see this being gross for a Palafin to deal with. As long as it can withstand any of the wave crashes or jet punches. With that being said, but again, like, we still have the Ruins Pokemon. I haven't even mentioned that, but the Ruins Pokemon give all of these scary Pokemon just an extra boost in it, essentially. So seeing a Ursulana with a Xianpao, well, now you're just hitting for scary things. Even scary. You have Chi-Yus to help with your special attackers. We've got the Genie Pokemon with their specialty moves. You got Urshifu with Xianpao too. Oh my goodness, I didn't even touch Heatran. Heatran is a scary Pokemon, and I love it. So yes, he's got very good special attack, 130. Yes, he has quite the weakness in ground, being a steel fire type, but with Flame Body, you can whittle down any offense Pokemon, or Flash Fire. You can use him to switch in and out if you're anticipating some kind of fire heat wave spam coming from like a Charizard or so forth, or even Chi-Yus. With him, he can be scary. Yeah, because he's got access to Iron Head. Oh boy, he does not have Eruption anymore, which is unfortunate. But, I mean, he has access still to Heat Wave. Is still a very gross fire move. Lava Plumes, Fire Spins, like, oh boy. Let's see what else you have. He's gonna be very scary. Definitely, I can see this one being like a Flutter Mane hard no, just because of its typing. And it does have access to Will-O-Wisp, so you can, again, whittle down offense Pokemon, options to use rocks and spike setups, so he is going to be very scary. He even has access to Solar Beam, so if you wanted to do like a sunny day team with a Solar Beam on the field with him, I think I can definitely see that taking people a little by surprise. Oh boy. So that's like some of the just scariness things I've seen so far. Another one that I think would be interesting is the Alolan Raichu. Now, I haven't been really using the Raichu, the Kanto one, to begin with, but Alolan Raichu has a lot of potential as well. A lot of synergy with electric teams again. I think that will be very popular. And then with that being said, I'm anticipating a lot of Sandstorm teams and a lot of ground, so that might be something to keep in mind with that. But yeah, Alolan Raichu with its Surge Surfer doubles the Pokemon's speed stats on electric terrain. I can definitely see that being played with a um, electric team that rely more on the future Paradox Pokemon. I think that will be very scary having that, and it has fight, so you can, say no to any Pokemon on the field that have protects. Uh, yeah, another one that I think to keep in mind is where is it? Yeah, so just touching base on the speed control and the support Pokemon now that with this new format, Regieleki being a solid and fast electric Pokemon with a base speed of 200. I don't think anything else in this game at the moment can outspeed a Regieleki. So again, I think electric Pokemon are going to be a huge thing now, and I'm excited for that because I've been wanting to do an electric team. And then Cresselia is actually a very cool Pokemon, and I think it will be proven to be a solid support Pokemon. I'm hearing a lot of people talking about using it with an Ursalana, but I think it has more value than just that. That's my opinion. But it does have a new move called Lunar Blessing, where it heals 25% of your ally and itself, and it can cure any status condition. I think that's solid. It also has a pretty, it's got a good base stats. I'm just gonna pull him up here for you guys. He is gonna be very good, I think, with levitate too. So good. Yeah, so it's got a really high HP and defense boost with 120 all around, and then its special defense is even better. It's not the best attacker itself. That's why I think it'll be a very good support Pokemon. And with that, also, it has very versatility with speed control. So you have access to Icy Winds if you just want to go straight out lowering Pokemon speed. Or for that, I think it also has access to Trick Rooms, so I can see why people want that with Ursalana, which will be scary. So I really like that versatility. Either we can go in straight with Trick Room, go very offensively, or you can kind of whittle down a little bit just in case there is any other, like I said, I think Trick Room will be ran more. We'll see, but that's my theory. So I can see why people might use Icy Wind to kind of counteract with that. Yeah, I think overall with this format, I think it's really exciting overall, and I cannot wait to kind of try out more of these new Pokemon that they've announced. I am really stoked. Like I said, I think Alolan might be really cool, and I'm just thinking of all the possibilities with its ability. Prankster, it could copy Defiant if you had a King Gambit or an Annihilate yourself. It can copy Friend Guard, like it's on mouse holds. What else? So many. Like I said, I think weather teams are going to be still very popular, and probably even more now because so many of these Pokemon complement that. So you've got Regieleki with electric terrains, and then have that paired up with some future Paradox Pokemon, Iron Hands, Iron Bundle. Like, I think those will be very scary. What else? There is... It's endless, so I am really stoked to see. That is my opinion on the tier list so far. I don't have time to touch base on all of them, but hopefully I will start to make some videos to kind of explain my way or strategy on each of these Pokemon, and I cannot wait to see what July, when that comes around, and what people use. So that is my kind of take on everything. Oh, I didn't even mention Regieleki also has access to Electro Web, which is a electric move that basically you set on the field and it lowers your opponent's speed. So that also is a great way of speed control. And yeah, I think Regieleki is going to be pretty crazy with it doesn't hit as hard, but with an electric terrain out, with Chi out would be scary. So many possibilities and way too many to explain in one video. So I hope that kind of helps give you guys a bit of an explanation on this new Regional D series that will be coming out. With that being said, I will have to probably delay my team that I had in mind for tomorrow because of this overwhelming news. I need to think through my strategy a bit more before I show it off. But I will have another video hopefully soon in next week or so here that will have a new feature team on there for you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day and stay tuned for more. So goodbye!